Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are battling Jokes in the Sinister Cup, and I will leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description down below if you want to go ahead and check him out. So his team will be Dustclops, Metachamp, Poliwrath, Steelix, Driftblim, and Claydol, and my team will be Poliwrath, Alolan, Marowak, and Empoleon, Steelix, Mawile, and Claydol. I am trying out Claydol as a confusion user, and my initial thoughts on it, just from these battles that we did, is I do like it as an option to go with confusion if you want a confusion user for like Poliwrath. But I still think I'm leaning towards Bronzong, and the reason for that is because both of them are weak to Ghost, but Claydol also has that Ice weakness, so if you do go up with a Poliwrath or a Metacham that has Ice Punch, and some people are opting to run other moves now because of Powerpuff's debuff, it got weaker. They're opting to run maybe Hydro Pump or Psychic or something, so you might not run into an Ice Punch user. That's very possible, but at the end of the day, Claydol is weak to Ice Punch, so you do have to watch out for that if you are going up against somebody that does have Ice Punch. I do still have Ice Punch on my Poliwrath, so I would say that's one of the reasons why I probably am leaning towards Bronzong. Plus, you know, I like the moves, I like the Pokemon, although I still want a Cresselia, but unfortunately haven't been able to get one yet. But I'm still holding on to hope. But either way, Claydol I still think is a good Pokemon, you know, in general. So if you do go with it, more power to you, I don't blame you. But either way, we do go ahead and lose that game 1. So that is okay. So I am going to go ahead and lead with Claydol in this match, and he does lead with his Metacham. So as I said, if he has the Ice Punch, we are going to be weak to it. I will allow the move to go through. It is Ice Punch. We don't take that much, to be fair, so we're still able to take it. If it had a power-up punch up, obviously we'd be taking more damage, so Claydol can tank those Ice Punches, but we're still taking super effective damage to them. So I'm going to switch into my Alolan Marowak and take that Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch is a good move because it charges fast, but it does not do a lot of damage. So we will fire off a Shadow Ball. Maybe he thought it was a bluff, deciding not to use a shield, and if he did use a shield, he'd be down 2 shields, and we would still have both of ours. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Bone Club against his Steelix, and that not really doing a lot of damage to him. Shadow Ball would have been the better choice, but that's okay. We're going to bring in, let's see what we bring in, you know, a little bit of a glitch, but we do decide to bring in Claydol, and as you can see, we're lagging there, so not able to do anything, so I just let his move go off and hit us. It is going to be a crunch and knock us out, so I will bring in the Poliwrath, and we'll see what happens. He does have Thunderfang on his Steelix, so we are taking a lot of damage from it, but we do get off a power-up punch. That lag could have affected this game, but that's okay. Again, as I said, he does switch into Metacham. I am going to go ahead and let this one go through. It is going to be a power-up punch, and we do go ahead and get off the Ice Punch to see what we could do to his Metacham. He does let it go through. A little bit surprised. I was kind of expecting the shield, but I guess not, because he probably thought it was a power-up punch, so we do knock him out, and now we get off a power-up punch against his Steelix, and he will block that, but we're able to feint him with Bubbles. So very close game. The lag, I would say, probably definitely mattered, but either way, it's okay. I mean, we still came out ahead, but that's fine. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into another one, beginning with Alolan Marowak. He does lead with his Driftblim. Now, again, keep in mind we do have Fire Spin. I almost said Fire Fang, but it is Fire Spin. So I'm not going to be super effective against that Pokemon. However, he brings in Steelix, and then I switch right out. I've been having, I guess, somewhat of a difficult time remembering that I have Fire Spin and remembering that Alolan Marowak beats Steelix now, whereas before it didn't beat it if you didn't have the Fire Spin, but now it does if you have the Fire Spin, if you up shields, or if even equal shields. Alolan Marowak will win if you shield, you know, but I kind of forget about that, so I switched right into a Poliwrath against his Thunderfang Steelix, so that was definitely a bad play. I'm also forgetting about Thunderfang as well, sometimes when I make these switches, so I just have to get used to this. So I should have stayed in with the Alolan Marowak against his Steelix when he switched, but that's okay. Just making these plays just because it's still new. So I am going to go ahead and block that for fear of Hydro Pump because I know he has Hydro Pump, and we're able to feint the Poliwrath, and we got off a Psychic. Now I still win this match or this game, but I definitely made a mistake. Should have stayed in with that Alolan Marowak in my opinion, but that is okay. Because as I said, we still are going to go ahead and pull out this game. He does hit us with an Ominous Wind. We bring in Alolan Marowak to go for the Shadow Ball against his Drifblim, and that will knock him out. And as I said, we do win. But closer than it had to be, I guess. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah. We're going to go ahead and jump into another game. I do lead with my Steelix. He leads with his Poliwrath. So this is not favorable for us because we don't have that Thunderfang. We switch into Poliwrath. He switches into Dusclops. This is still a favorable matchup for us because Ice Punch will be doing a lot. We charge up super fast. We could buff the Ice Punch. And sorry about that, guys. I accidentally clicked on the other screen. So I am going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch right now. And he'll be doing damage with that Shadow Punch. But again, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So as I said, favorable for us because we'll continue to buff up our bubbles. I do go for a Power Punch, hoping to get a shield. We do not get a shield, and then he pulls the switch into Medicham, and I am going to go for this Ice Punch. Not really expecting him to shield either, but he does decide to shield, so I will switch into my Alolan Marowak, which, as you guys know, is definitely favorable for us, unless if he has Psychic, but we know he doesn't have Psychic. We know he has Power Up Punch as well as Ice Punch. A little bit of a delay there as well. We're both glitching out, or at least I am. I think he is as well. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and take whatever move this is. It is a Power Up Punch. And we're just charging up a bunch of energy. Again, you do have to be careful because Medichams are carrying Psychic now just because of Power Up Punch's debuff where its strength went down. So instead of Ice Punch, some people might prefer the Psychic just to do a lot of damage. So we do hit him with the Shadow Ball and we pull the switch into Poliwrath, and our Poliwrath is really low. I kind of forgot how low it was, so I bring back in my Alolan Marowak, and that was definitely a bad play, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and let him do his Power Up Punch against my Alolan Marowak, and then we will get off a Bone Club against him, which won't knock him out, but we still have Fire Spins that will knock him out. And then we get off a Bone Club against his Dusclops, and definitely going to be game over. He does bring in his Medicham. We do have Steelix. Now, this obviously is generally speaking a losing matchup, but we still have both shields, and he's very low, so we are going to win this game. But again, I made several mistakes throughout the course of these battles, but it's okay because we're still learning, we're still practicing, and we almost timed out, but we actually ended up winning this one anyway. So that was nice. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another game. I do lead with Poliwrath. He leads with his Drifblim. And we're just staying in. We do have that Ice Punch. I go straight for the Ice Punch, not expecting a shield on the first attack. It does do a lot of damage. Would have done more had it been buffed, but it still does a lot, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and take this. It is Ominous Wind, and so we are able to take it. He actually gets off another Ominous Wind, and I do take it, and we actually survive. I didn't think I would survive that, but I did. So I do go for the Power Up Punch, and he actually blocks it, so that's definitely good for us. We do get knocked out, but at least we took one of his shields. I bring in my Alolan Marowak, and I am going to go ahead and block this Ominous Wind, and then we're going to be able to feint his Drifblim. Again, I have to remember that I have Fire Spin instead of Hex on my Alolan Marowak, and same with Steelix. I have to remember that, this is a winning matchup. I have to remember that it can get Thunderfang. I don't know, I guess I just haven't been thinking about it. But anyway, we do go for the Shadow Ball against his Steelix, and it does a lot of damage. I am going to go ahead and block this Crunch. And he actually pulls the switch into Poliwrath, so I will go ahead and click on this Shadow Ball to do damage to that Poliwrath, do a lot of damage actually, and then we switch into Claydol. Probably should have switched without going for the Shadow Ball, but again, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. We would have won that anyway, so I guess Shadow Ball was fine. I don't think that was a mistake. That was fine. So we do go ahead and win that one. So we're going to jump into another game. I do lead with my Alolan Marowak, and he leads with his Steelix, so I do believe I stay in just because I remember finally that it's a winning matchup. I go ahead and go for the Bone Club, and he's going to go ahead and he shielded that, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Crunch so we don't take it. Yeah, he did shield it. So now we go for another Bone Club just to do more damage. Again, if you're going up against the Steelix, it's better to go for the Shadow Ball because it does more damage. The Shadow Ball would have knocked him out, but we didn't do that. We went for the Bone Club. If you're going up against a Bastiodon, Bone Club is better because it's double weak to it. But yeah, so gotta remember that, guys. Anyway, we almost get to the Shadow Ball. We actually do get to it, but unfortunately he gets to his Ominous Wind first, and then he knocks us out. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Poliwrath, trying to charge up to the Ice Punch. We do charge up to it. He gets off his move before we're able to click on ours, and it is going to be a Shadow Ball, so it does do a lot of damage to us. We get off an Ice Punch against his Drifblim, almost knocking him out. Bubbles are going to be able to feint that Drifblim, so that's definitely good for us. And we'll wait to see what comes in. It is going to be Poliwrath, and I charge up a little bit. We have energy ready to go, and then we bring in Claydol. Now, unfortunately, I knew that he would charge up for Hydro Pump, as he does. So he does hit us with the Hydro Pump, so definitely good on his end. It would have knocked out Bronzong as well, though, because of how strong it is, and then he's just able to finish us off. So he does go ahead and win that one, so it was a really good game. Really good game. So here's another battle, the last battle where we do make a mistake as well. We have the Mawile against his Claydol, so definitely positive for us because it does get Earth Power and Earthquake, but we know that we win that matchup. So I do get Power Up Punch, and I decide not to switch out. I should have switched out into my Alolan Marowak, but again, I wasn't really thinking of that because I wasn't thinking Alolan Marowak wins because of Fire Spin, so that was definitely a bad mistake on my end. I should have switched out, but I did not, and I let my Mawile go down, and Mawile would have helped out a lot because I know he has a Claydol in the back, and it's already boosted with a Power Up Punch, so I make that mistake again. You know, I've been making that mistake consistently, actually. I gotta get better before my tournament with this cup. But again, it's okay because it's just practice. It's not really a big deal. Either way, we do go ahead and knock out his Steelix. He does bring in his Claydol, and we go for the Bone Club. I was hoping he would use his last shield, and I believe he did use his last shield, so that was why I went for the Bone Club. He hits us with the Earthquake. He did use his last shield, and then we bring in Claydol against him, and he pulls the switch into Drifblim, and we go ahead and fire off a Psychic. But this is not really good for us. If we still had that Mawile, we would have definitely won this one because it would have done well against the Drifblim as well as the Claydol. So huge mistake on my end. Should have saved it, but I didn't. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.